Now, Joy News is learning that the majority of the local unions within the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, are kicking against a ruling by the National Labour Commission asking their employees to return to their lecture halls. The NLC last week declared the industrial action of two teacher unions, that's UTAG and CTAG, as illegal. The commission explains that the aggrieved groups failed to exhaust the processes, hence their action could not be upheld. However, after a marathon of meetings today, Monday, Joy News is learning that there's fierce opposition within UTAG against the NLC ruling. Further checks also revealed that 14 out of a total of 15 local chapters of UTAG at the said meeting Monday voted to remain on strike. Meanwhile, the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, that's CTAG, says it will continue to engage its constituents later. Now, let's go on to the phone lines now. Kwesi Kwarteng is Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Education. He joins us via Zoom. Mr. Kwarteng, I'm grateful that you could join us here on Joy News Prime. Now, the Education Minister pleaded for some more time to deal with the issues. With these developments, how much time is government asking for to resolve the matter?
Okay, thank you very much, and very good evening to you and your viewers and your listeners as well. Of course, I mean, at the level of the ministry, our approach has always been using the negotiation approach to resolve the issue that we find ourselves. It's even quite unfortunate that it's got into this stage, because if you recall, prior to October 6, when the parties indeed signed a memorandum of agreement to apparently guide them on the way forward, our approach has always been that of reconciliation. And you will recall that we've been here before. And initially, when UTAG and NLC were in court and were having their own disagreement, it took the intervention of the Minister for Education, Dr. Yao said, to bring their parties back to the negotiating table. And we are not going to do anything different from such approach. I can assure you that as I speak with you, there are conversations behind the scenes, of course, between the leadership of the ministry, ably headed or led by the Minister for Education, Dr. Yao said, and the leadership of UTAG, so that at least we can all come back to have a consensus. I mean, the decisions of UTAG clearly are decisions that are within their rights. Certainly, they have made their displeasure. They've spoken about improved conditions of service, which everybody believes that is valid. I think it was the NLC that clearly said that the processes and the procedures that led to the declaration of the strike was something that was illegal. I mean, it's clear UTAG may also even have recourse to other ways of getting their grievances resolved. But I mean, like we all know, when two elephants fight in the grass, that suffers.
Absolutely.
For us at the Ministry of Education, like the minister have already started, we will continue to engage the leadership of UTAG, so that we are able to get them to their classrooms.
How advanced are the negotiations? And like you rightly mentioned, there's the grass that suffers, in this case, the students. And we are learning that the strike will bite the hardest this week, because that is when lectures are supposed to begin for many of the public universities. What is the assurance you can give them based on the conversations you've had so far? How soon can they expect their lectures back?
Yes, I have always held the view that I'm not sure lecturers are just happy going on strike. Of course, I mean, when we have such a challenge, it's just about the demonstration of leadership. And based on the precedent that we had in the past, I mean, relative to the October 6 agreement that led to the calling off of the 2-week strike earlier declared by UTAG, I'm very hopeful that such conversations, the rate and the pace at which is happening, of course, behind the scenes, we are very hopeful that we'll get UTAG back to the class. But of course, I'm unable to give a definitely, because these are negotiations. And then you are unable to prejudice the details of the negotiations. You are unable to presume or assume what the other party is going to say. And so we can only hope that we respect the principles of the negotiations, we respect the principle of the conversations that are going behind the scenes, so that at the end of the day, we are able to get, both parties under their consensus. And I can assure Ghanaians that that is going to be done very swiftly and rapidly.
Mr. Kwarteng, thank you for your time. That's Kwesi Kwarteng. He speaks for the Education Ministry.